For the vehicle to grid issue, how do you know when it's worth sending power to the grid? There's the whole battery degradation possibility. There's wanting your car to be fully charged. And so people's preferences vary from day to day, and how much money they might get from exporting the power is going to be critical because if it's not enough, then they won't do it at all. And if it's a little bit, they'll maybe discharge a little bit. But if it's a lot, more people will do it. So price is a way to orchestrate demand. And airlines do this every day. Airlines don't charge based on the cost of running an airplane. They want to fill up the seats and maximize revenue. With electricity, we want to fill up using the renewables and the capacity and minimize costs. And so prices are a control signal that something that you can derive from the wholesale market.
Yep, absolutely. And then the point that you make, I forgot, I posted on LinkedIn, I was looking at a study which basically say that with the V2G enabled right now, based on what the Australian prices and the fluctuations are, if your car is V2 enabled V2G, your lease payment could be 30% less picked up by the car's revenue. And the calculation they were using, if I'm not mistaken, if your lease payment was about $800 to $1,000 a month, the V2G could give you $250 to $300 equivalent value from.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I do expect that as more vehicles come online to potentially do that, the value that they will drop.
It will drop dramatically, yes.
Yeah, and which is fine. That's the way it's supposed to work. It should drop to the point at which we balance the supply and demand of that injection of power into the system.
Yeah, and then before that happens, all the sort of CCGTs that sits there and the combined gas plants to take a few hours in a year or a month to take the peak will go. So those expensive plants will go. So eventually, even the fluctuation in the wholesale market price will be much less than the sort of fluctuation, right? Because those things will go because the EVs can, or the virtual energy network can pick up those things, right?
Exactly. A lot of the fluctuation in our wholesale price is due to the fact that demand is relatively invariant, but as demand becomes more variable, then just as you said, the wholesale price should become less variable.
Yeah, so a lot of fun happening in the future, yes. Go ahead.
So an important factor about B2G or for exporting excess solar is that in many places, like in California where I live, it was common to have net metering where you got either the same price for exporting or maybe even more. But as more and more customers are exporting, then more and more utilities are having differential prices where the export price is lower, usually significantly lower than the import price at the same time. So if a customer might be buying electricity at 40 cents, or if they're exporting, they're only getting 10 cents, then what's the marginal value of power now within the building? It's either 40 cents or 10 cents, or maybe if it's 25 cents, then that keeps the building from neither importing nor exporting. So if the water heater, for example, is trying to decide when to operate, it should operate as much as it can during the times when you might otherwise export at low value, because that's 10-cent electricity. That's much cheaper than the 40-cent electricity it might if you were importing. So that creates what I call a local price. It's local inside the customer site in the same way that a local area network is inside the customer site. And so that the value of electricity inside the customer site can diverge from the price at the meter. And there are at least 6 different reasons why that's true. And so this is not a problem for price responsive devices because they don't care where the price comes from. But if you have external optimization and you're only optimizing to the retail price, as an aggregator might do, you will commonly do the wrong thing for the customer because you don't know the actual context inside the building.